These videos are brought to you by MSCCasino.com and the Macau Sporting Club. MSCCasino.com. Check it out.
You are watching Sports Matters TV.
Very good. It's been a while since we last spoke. It was 2017. You were 2-0, and I predicted UFC was around the corner, and I predicted you were going to go on a massive run. So far.
Awesome. Well, it's good to talk to you after such a long time.
Been a while.
A lot of things have happened. Woo.
I spotted your potential earlier. Like I knew early on you were going to be massive. We knew that early days, you know. So we were right. It's one of our proudest achievements here at SportsMatters to predict Mackenzie Dern was going to go all the way.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, it's crazy. Like some you guys, you know, saw stuff in me that not even I knew at the time, you know. Now I see, oh, okay, I can be like a champion and all these things, you know. But back then I was like the jiu-jitsu girl, just like trying out this MMA thing, you know. And man, now I think I kind of start to find myself, and it's really good. We're definitely gonna accomplish big things.
Definitely. And speaking of big things, we know you have a massive bout April. It's going to be a great fight, Tecia Torres and yourself. Obviously, you're going into that fight as a massive favorite, but you know, how's preparation going for that fight, Mackenzie?
Yeah, it's good because Tecia is like a little bit like kind of similar to Marina, you know, a little bit like a more point fighter, you know, kind of hit and moves, good movement, but Tecia's smaller, you know. So that's definitely a big difference, and I'm excited to fight someone you know, my size, because for me, who I like to engage and be close, you know, the shorter they are, the closer they need to come to me to make a point or something like that, you know. So definitely it's I'm kind of using this opportunity to correct some things that I made mistakes in my fight with Marina, you know. Even though it's 3 rounds, definitely not after you go to 5 rounds, going back to 3, it's like, oh, that's a short amount of time, you know. But I mean, I think I'm gonna be able to submit her in the first round. I know she hasn't been finished. I don't know if she's ever been finished, but if she has, maybe like once. I'm not sure, but I don't think she's ever been finished. But yeah, I mean, after the Marina fight, I definitely want to come back strong. And unfortunately, she's my first fight after the fight, you know. So it's gonna be with Tecia that I need to have my comeback and really show that I just made a couple mistakes and now we corrected it, you know. I definitely use this whole camp to focus on me, you know. I haven't trained, so like I haven't even watched her fights really. I've been training mostly just working on what I need to make better, you know. So kind of no matter what happens in the fight, Mackenzie is going to be just a better, more precise fighter, you know. Perillo, he's been helping me. He kind of took me back to the basics, simplified a lot. I kind of overthink about a lot of things. I'm a perfectionist, you know, so I want to do everything like perfect, and now everything's like simplified. You know, like a knockout, for example. I'm trying to knock out in sparring, and like, man, I hit them so hard, I hit the person and everything, but never knock out. And now I just like snap my punches, and the person's like bleeding, or maybe they get wobbled. I'm like, oh, so you don't need to like use so much strength, you know, like you don't need to try and knock them out. It'll come, you know, just by touching them and just by having the right extension and all these things. So little things in my striking game, little things, me as a fighter, my patience, not being so emotional in the fight, you know. When you're chasing people all the time, right, you kind of get a little bit frustrated, like, oh, man, and they like hit you and run out, you know. Maybe it's not like that, it doesn't hurt you, the punch, but one punch in your mind, you're like, oh, now the judges see that is like 1 point, you know, and now I need, you know, just like take your time, like bring them into the fight, you know. I don't need to be chasing everyone all the time. So yeah, I definitely mature more as a fighter, and I'm excited to be on the card April 9th. It's going to be a lot of good fights, and I think will be a good platform back in front of a crowd finally. Oh, I'm so excited.
It's good. Mackenzie, we have to speak of your striking, because we know people are afraid to grapple and get on the ground with you. Like, you're a perfectionist when it comes to, you know, jiu-jitsu. Your ground game is incredible. I don't think anyone wants to be on the floor with you, but your striking is incredible. Like, you throw absolute bombs. So tell us, like, how much work have you put into that? Because look, obviously you perfected it. Like, we speak to many kind of, pundits, and we think you perfected the striking. So obviously there's been a lot of hard work put into that. And it's, fans love to see you hit them bombs. You really do have a good swing. So, like, obviously it's a good thing moving forward.
Yeah. No, like my dad, for example, he's my coach, Mackenzie Diaz, my jiu-jitsu coach. So like for this camp now, last week was the first week he comes down every week from Arizona, trains with me for 4 or 5 days, and then goes back to Arizona to his academy. So, my jiu-jitsu, my ground game, I've been working wrestling, but my ground game, my jiu-jitsu, just kind of do a little bit like refreshment, getting close to the fight, but the whole year long, all I do is like Perillo, boxing every single day, just working my stand-up. So, of course, I had a lot to catch up to the girls. And that's what it is, like you said, no one wants to go to the ground with me. Even like their punches, they punch, but they don't punch with a lot of intent, because they don't want to get that close, so they kind of punch on the end of their punches and get out fast, so definitely my punches are what's gonna help me to get the takedowns. But it's hard, you kind of fall in love with the striking when you start, getting better at it, and you start understanding and not getting punched so much in the face. When you start not getting punched and punching people, you start to like it more, so definitely I think that's just one thing to remind myself, like, okay, I fell in love with the striking, but hey, if we want a long career, I can stay in the fight and do 5 rounds standing up, no problem. Everyone knows that I like to be in there, I like to get in the fight, I have a good chin, so that's not the best, that's not the best compliment, but hey, that's a good thing to know that you can get punched and not fall so easily, and keep going forward. But hey, I want a long career. I don't want to get too much broken noses and things like that. And definitely the way to do that is to submit fast, and go to my strong point, so and just knowing that line, like, hey, don't fall into the trap, where you get said, maybe I'll still win even if I do striking, but maybe it's like not unnecessary injuries or things like that, cuts or stuff like that. And make them just use the punches to get them thinking about that, and then take to the ground, and those honestly are the punches that I think I think soon I'll get some knockouts, I think it's very soon, it's coming. I'm wanting it so bad, so sometimes the more you want it, the more you kind of pushing it off a little bit, but I think sooner or later it's gonna come, and I'm gonna start landing the knockouts and getting my aim just on the right spot, and that's all you need to get the knockout. So I'm definitely falling in love with the striking too.
I think April 9th would be the date we see that knockout. I think that's when all the guys that they're out in Vegas and they're looking to win money. Put it on a knockout. First, second round, Mackenzie Dern knockout. That's where the money is. That's the real money right there.
Yes. Yeah, no. You see, like Charles Oliveira, he's like, man, the most submissions in the UFC, and he has like these knockouts too, and his got better, and I think that's the most important, because I was so like so excited, okay, maybe if I beat Marie, I'll go to the belt, fight for the title, things like that. But oh God, like, you have time, Charles Oliveira is what, 10 years, 12 years in the UFC, like I'm not that many years in the UFC, and I still had like 1 year I was pregnant. So yeah, just take time, because it's gonna come, you see, like, at least Ruka is Michael Bisping, who's fought for the title a couple of times and then lost and was close and all the things. So you start seeing everyone's story around you and see how, like, okay, not everyone is, you can have these ups and downs, and just keep going. And I definitely feel like I have time, so I'm not in a rush right now, but it's getting better.
Definitely. Like, you've done so much already. You're like a person that's lived 2 lives, right? You're in your 20s, since we've talked, you've become a mother, and obviously joined the UFC, you've main evented the UFC. Like, how much, like, when you become a parent, because I've got 3 kids, okay, and everything changes, but how different is it to fight, when you are a mom to when you're not being a mother? Like, you know what I mean? So obviously, before you have kids, you're probably more reckless, you don't have that big responsibility, but then you become a mother. How different is it for you being a mother? And we see the Instagram pictures, they're incredible. Future
Yeah.
wife right there as well.
Yeah. She's a character, man. She's definitely, man, the biggest motivation. You know, like you said, you know, when you're a little bit more reckless, you know, you can like, okay, if you don't have a fight or if you get injured or something like that, you can you can be okay. Maybe if you're not making that much money, just having like, you know, I don't know, ramen noodles or something like that, you know. But now that you have someone else depending on you, um, all of a sudden it's like reality check. Like, man, I need to make things work, you know. And I can't just be having fun and in this like, okay, I have a fight and then go party and, you know, spend half the money and, you know, just things like that. You know, it's like, no, okay, I want this money, but man, I want more, you know, I want to have more because now I want to have a good life for her, help with, I don't know, if she wants to study, you know, I never did college, but you know, if she wants to do, I don't want her to fight, you know. She said she loves to fight, but now I know what my parents feel when they see their daughter getting punched in the face. I don't want to see her that get punched in the face, you know. So yeah, just it definitely makes you more like mature, definitely matures you. It makes you more professional, at least me, more professional, you know, like, okay, take everything seriously. And it was good because that's what I needed to realize to see the potential that everyone else saw in me. You know, I think that's cool. Dana, you know, a lot of people, I think they're a little bit frustrated with me in the beginning, you know, because they saw the potential. They saw like, man, if she just like focused and took it seriously, you know, she could go really far, you know. And that's kind of what I need to realize. Oh man, okay, I can like hang with these girls, you know. Okay, yeah, it's really hard for them to get the jiu-jitsu, and you start to see that they respect your jiu-jitsu and they respect your game. And I'm just working my striking, so you start to find your place in the division. And I feel like I grew a lot in the UFC, you know, like I didn't come to the UFC with like 30 fights or things like that. I went in with, I think, 6-0, you know, 6-0 or 7-0, maybe. I think it was 6. You know, so I feel like I grew a lot. I gained a lot of experience in the UFC. So it kind of molded me and helped me become the fighter I am by the opponents that they give me, you know. So each one of them helped me become the fighter I am. So definitely more mature athlete and competitor. And I think that's all due because of Moa, my daughter.
And like popularity wise, Mackenzie, like you're known all around the world, you know what I mean? You're an inspiration to all the girls and the females and even the males joining the gyms today. You know, every time you fight, performance of the night or fight of the night, you know, you're always in a great scrap. You know, you're always, you know, main card, you know, people want to watch you, people come to Vegas to watch you. What's your fan base mean to you? Because we know you have a, you know, a massive fan base in Europe, across Brazil, across America. Like, what do the fans mean to you personally?
Yeah, the fans are, man, this, like, besides my daughter, they're the second most important thing, you know, because yeah, they're really what helps me, what pushes me. I mean, even from before, you know, before I got pregnant, when I didn't make weight like that, you know, you can say the critics and stuff like that, but that helped push me, you know, that was still all part of my growth, you know. And that helps make me like, oh no, I want to show them that I can, you know, I can be like concentrated and I can make the weight. They said, oh, after the pregnancy, she's not going to come back, you know. And I came back stronger and better and more, yeah, more athletic, more professional after that, you know. And then you see like how they take you serious, you know. And it's like, okay, that's good because I needed that from them, you know. So they're what helped me until today. They support me, and even if they don't, I the criticism helps me too, you know. So it's all part of the work, you know, our job. I do this for them, to do a show for them, you know. I like to put, my coach tells me like, one thing that we're working a lot in the gym is like for me to have patience, you know, like because the people, they kind of walk a lot in the fights, you know, like they'll hit and then they move a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like frustrated, man, like all the time I feel like I'm chasing and it's like, calm down, like don't worry, you know. And I'm like, but it's not boring, you know, and this is like sparring, you know. So, man, but people are gonna think it's like a boring fight, you know. And he's like, no, you're not a boring fighter, don't worry, you know. So it's just like, relax, you know. So that's always my goals, you know. I like to put a show on for everybody. I know people like the blood and they like the fights and they like to show hard, you know. And that's what we're getting paid to do, you know. We're not getting paid in there to like, oh, just be like not in a fight. We're getting paid to try train every day to fight, you know. So the goal is to put on a show for the fans and get people to like my style and at least like, you know, show like, oh, I can I can support that style that she has. You know, it's a little bit different style. You know, the jiu-jitsu girl with the strikes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I can get more women to like it, the guys to like it, you know, and to enjoy that style too, that's great. You know, that's everything I represent. So, and I mean, I traveled the world a lot when I was in jiu-jitsu. So, man, Europe, Brazil, United States, man, Asia, everywhere. I have such a good place in my heart for all those places. I visited almost a lot of countries doing seminars, competitions, and things like that. So I definitely feel like I went into the UFC with a big following, you know, before I even the community. So I feel like, you know, they've been with me for my whole story, you know, becoming this fighter and until we become the champion and what will come after the champion, you know. So yeah, I feel like, I mean, almost a little bit similar to you, you know, like, man, we talked back in 2017, 2010, you know, whatever, 15 when I beat Gabby Garcia, you know, and they remember those moments and now they see how I am now and how my life changed. And it's kind of crazy that like my life was a little bit in the public eye, you know, kind of the MMA world, you know, public, but they can see like we're all the same, you know, like get pregnant, you know, go through difficulties, but now, you know, so everything's possible, you know.
Of course. Now, speaking of the boss man, Dana White, obviously the man's iconic. You know, we absolutely love him, man. We got to meet him in Ireland many years ago when McGregor and Aldo had a big press conference. But Dana's obviously a great boss. And look, he's an inspiration. He's got a lot on his plate, but he really juggles everything so well.
Yeah. No, he's good. I mean, some people, I don't even know really too much what people talk bad about him. You know, for me, he's always like, you know, been good to me. Always like, man, you gotta get your stuff figured out. You know, and when I did get my stuff figured out, he's like, man, she's gonna be a big problem in the division. You know, so always just truth. You know, of course he's a businessman, but you know, like people saying, oh, this is a business too. You know, so you need to know to do both. But yeah, I mean, he hires me for the fights. I go to do the show for him. And he, you know, is happy with the job well done, you know. So we have a good relationship, and I think he's doing big things for MMA, you know.
Definitely. Mackenzie, would you be interested in a crossover? We're seeing so much things going on with YouTubers, you know, MMA fighters going over to fight boxers. Would that be something you'd be interested in? Maybe even an appearance in WWE. You know, I'd like to see you maybe face off against, you know, Ronda Rousey over in that side of things.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I mean, the doors are open to all these opportunities, definitely after, like, you know, I accomplished the belt, of course, and things like that. But yeah, definitely go have some fun on these other crossover opportunities, you know. I said like box, but one of my like people that I train with is like world champion in box for, I mean, the division below me. But I mean, boxing, there's not that many girls, so it'd have to be like maybe a YouTuber. But I mean, I think for the girls, it's a little bit harder, you know. I don't know how many YouTuber girls are gonna want to get punched in the face, you know.
Oh, no, that's true. That is true.
But definitely know for sure, like if they have any opportunity like that, WWE will definitely for sure.
I love it. Now, we have to speak quickly. Look, obviously, when you're in a training camp, Mackenzie, it's very hard. I've been in a training camp for about a week and I've struggled. I've had withdrawals, headaches, you know, I've been grumpy. But like, what's the worst part of a training camp for you? Because obviously they're not easy. Obviously you're training every day, you know, you're cutting weight. How hard can they be? Because, you know, we're all warriors on Twitter and on Facebook and you know, but like it's obviously a really hard thing to do, like.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna think like it's my sensitive side, you know, but honestly for me the hardest thing is just to be away from my daughter, my husband, you know. It's just maybe I see my daughter like 1-2 hours a day, you know, during training camp. And it's like, man, when I do see her, she like almost cries because she knows in 15 minutes I have to leave again, you know, and she knows that she's going to go to sleep and I'll just see her the next day, you know. So it's like, that's the hardest part for me, is that I see my daughter like almost like 2 hours a day during training camp. So that's like 8 weeks almost seeing her very, very little. Just, and we're in the same, you know, we're in the same house, we're in the same city, everything, but just, I'm just the whole day training, like 4 trainings a day. And yeah, so I think that's the hardest part, but everything else, you know, like the pain, the soreness, you know, like today, my lower back is so sore from like squats and all the strength training and working my base on boxing. I'm like walking around the house so like slow, I can't bend down, but it's a good feeling, you know, because you feel like you're getting stronger, you know, and that's what you need. I talked to my coach, you know, like, man, he puts on like all these weights on my weightlifting, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do the best. Like, I'm gonna give the best I can, and I do it like good, maybe like 6 reps, good. And he said, that was good. Okay, so let's go more. And I did like my best. I thought he was like, oh man, good job, that's it, you know. But you know, you need to like suffer to actually be getting better. You know what I mean? So of course I'm doing my best, but I need to not be able to do it to be able to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like you need to break down before you can build up. So yeah, definitely like that pain and the soreness and just getting punched in the face. And for sure there's some days that like I'm doing so good during the week, and then I get like, okay, for my sparring, okay, I'm gonna try to do everything that I worked on during the week, and nothing works, you know, and nothing happens, and I'm like, fuck, you shoot, you know. It's like, man, that sucks, you know, mentally, why it breaks you down. But I think what's been the best about my career since jiu-jitsu all the way to MMA is like always in the training, I'm always working things that I'm bad at, you know. So man, I get beat up a lot in the gym, you know. I think most of the people, they see me in the gym, man, that's Mackenzie in the UFC, you know, like she's not that good, she's getting beat up and all these things, but because I'm working so much things that I'm bad at, you know. So of course, you know, I'm getting beat up because I'm not good at those things, you know, but I start to get better and better and better. And by the time I get to the fight, I feel like I've been through everything already, you know, like there's nothing that will surprise me, you know, because I've already worked all my weaknesses in the gym, you know. So I mean, I think some people, they go to the gym and just want to win every single round, they want to win everything and just work on the things they're good at, but we need to push ourselves, you know. So it's good. I think just not to be, the hard part too is also like just mentally strong, you know, and not everything so like, especially if you're a perfectionist, you know, you want to do everything perfect, and it's possible to be perfectionist, you know, in MMA.
Of course, and like you are a perfectionist, look, as you said, look, it's been a remarkable journey, you know, we've been watching you for a long time. Look, last of all, you obviously have your eye on the championship right now. I personally believe, Mackenzie, you know, after April 9th, you know, I know you never look over, like, you'll never look ahead of opponents, but like, I generally believe at the end of 2022, you can get a title shot, right? I generally believe that. The fan base is there, your fights are incredible, you know, performances are always top notch. Would that be something you'd like to do? Obviously, look, it's a dream to become a UFC world champion, but the division is incredible. And I know you'll never overlook opponents, but obviously, it's surely very near. We believe it's very near, that title shot.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely possibility. Like you said, I'm trying not to look too much ahead, you know, because not that I didn't look over Marina or anything like that, but there was a lot of like, hey, if this is like a quick submission, a good showing, you know, and even like just with talk between the matchmakers and stuff, we knew it was a possibility to go the belt after that, you know. So I definitely think that by then 2022, with some good performances, you know, especially I'm 5 right now. So, and I know like Rose is going to fight, I think Carlos Esparza, Zhang Weili with Joanna, you know, so a lot of things are happening with the champ 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a possibility. So we'll see what do I want to get to the belt, prepared to stay at the belt, you know. I don't want to get there, win it, and then lose like the next one, you know, something like that. Get there and stay for a little bit, and then maybe go up a division, something like that, you know. But yeah, I think anything's possible. We'll see what kind of performances I can pull off, you know, in the next couple fights. But yeah, I think it's very, very soon, especially if we keep fan base growing and yeah, keep growing all over the world, with the fans and things like that.
Definitely. No, the dream fight, obviously, Mackenzie Dern Rose, that will happen. We have no doubt about it. But Mackenzie, it's an honor, a privilege. We'll see you in Vegas soon. I'm going to bring over some goodies from Ireland. We hope to have you over here for a seminar soon as well. Well, listen, all the best April 9th. I'm predicting a knockout. No pressure. Yeah. I know it's coming. I know it's coming, right? So all the best. Tell all the family we were asking from. I know you're in a really hard training camp at the moment, but look, we appreciate what you do. You're an absolute warrior, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to talk to you again after so long. And yeah, I hope to not let you down. Let's see. Maybe knock out.
I appreciate it, Mackenzie. I appreciate it. You're a star, and we'll see you April 9th. We can't wait. We have a big live screen here in Ireland, so we'll all be watching.
Yay. Thank you. Thanks so much, guys.